G'day everyone, and thanks for stopping by today. I've got these Dylusions stamps here, and this is put a bird on it, and they were on my desk from the previous project that I had, so I'm going to use those today. I've also got these envelopes, and these are all my scrap papers here, and I put them in colour, so all the greens together, all the blues together, all the greys together, and so forth. So I'm going to stamp the birds onto some scrap paper here. So the scrap paper that I'm going to be using is of a lighter colour, so I don't want any bold colours on here. So I'm just going to pick out some random light coloured paper and then stamp them on. I am using archival ink to stamp these birds onto, and then I'll end up fussy cutting them out also. So I have sped through this and I have cut all my birds out. So I think I've got about 8 here, but I'm not going to use them all. I've got some Craft pens here. They're called Mexby pens. I don't know if they sell them or not, but I've got heaps of these pens. And I'm just going around and just colouring some of these birds in. So even though it is patterned paper, I do want to colour some of the areas in on these birds. So today I am going to stack these birds on top of one another onto an art journal page. So just having a look at the composition. I am also going to be playing with my Distress Oxide sprays. So I've got 3 colours here that I have chosen, and I'm just going to spray randomly all over the page and just making sure that I dry in between each spray because I don't want to create brown. So just creating some drippage on the page. This will add some interest also to my page. Now I've got some puddles of colour on the page here, and I'm just using a straw just to blow that colour around also. Just also creating some splatters on the page. This will create interest also. So I go in with each colour just to create extra layers on this page. Now, because I'm using Distress Oxide inks, it does react with water. So I've got a water bottle here and I'm just putting some drips on the page and just picking them up with a paper towel. Then I'll actually dry it all off. Now I've got this Craft stamp here and I'm going to use some black acrylic paint to stamp onto my page. Now I did take the stamp off the acrylic block initially to stamp with, but then added the acrylic block. Now with stamping with paint, you always want to make sure that once you are finished that you actually clean off the paint off your stamps, because you don't want it drying on the stamps. So just adding extra layers by using my script stamp that lives on my desk and some olive green archival ink. And then I'm just going to give this all a dry off. Adding some more layers. So I've got black soot here in Distress Oxide ink, and just with a blending brush, just going over with a stencil. So I'm going to put my 4 birds stacked on each other, and I've decided to put them on the right hand side of this page here because I'm going to put a quote on the left hand side. Now I am just using some Elmer's school glue here because it's just on my table as well. Just being careful because I have used Distress Oxide sprays and inks, so I do need to make sure that it doesn't actually react again. So I've just got a paper towel and just patting all of that down. Now there is a lot of distress ink on here, so I am just going to put a thin layer of distress glaze just over the top because I don't want anything to move. Just going to go in with a white Posca pen. This is just my fine pen, and I'm just going to do the whites of the eyes just to make them pop a bit better. I decided to do the beaks also, so just going in with a yellow Posca pen and just giving that a little bit of a colour also. Just going to draw a border just on the right hand side of the page only, and now I'm going to do my quote. So I've picked a quote out of here today, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've measured the blank space on the left hand side of the page and it's 3.5 inches. So I've just cut some strips and I'm just drawing some squiggly lines on this because this will actually be my guide to draw my words on. Now this is just photocopy paper that I'm using, and I'm just going to glue this onto my page when I finish drawing up the quote. once I've actually finished drawing the words, I'm actually just going to cut this out. So this is what will be stuck onto my page. So the beauty of this is if you do make a mistake, you can actually go and redo it. So I did have one line there that I couldn't fit all my word on, so I just went back and just re-drew it in. So before gluing these onto the page, I just need to make sure that I erase all of the line marks on the front there. I'm just using a glue stick just to glue all of these down. And that's my art journal page finished for today. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, please give me your thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!